Will one of you fight me?
1,000 years before Christ, in ancient Israel, an obscure shepherd boy named David, who was only a teenager, took on the Philistines' giant warrior, Goliath.
I will fight you!
David prevailed because he knew the battle belongs to the Lord. Today, there's another David taking on another Goliath.
D. James Kennedy Ministries has stepped forward, much like David did in the famous battle against Goliath.
The Goliath, in this analogy, is the Southern Poverty Law Center, the SPLC, based in Montgomery, Alabama, which fashions itself as an anti-hate group.
Well, the Southern Poverty Law Center has an aura of respectability because of its history. It came into being because of the civil rights struggle, and they were exposing white supremacist groups and Klan groups and white citizens councils and all of those organizations that were promoting segregation and defending segregation and racism in the United States. But they've now taken such a hard turn to the left, they've just fallen off the surface of the earth. And you know, they just label people that disagree with any of the multicultural, moral relativist views concerning transgenderism, homosexuality, etc., as being a hate group.
The SPLC deems everybody a hate group. I'm fairly certain the SPLC has come after me. I mean, Media Matters has come after me. That's not a giant shock. I mean, the SPLC calls Family Research Council a hate group. Like, everybody's a hate group. So the SPLC is one of the most unreliable sources for information in America. Everybody who disagrees with the hard left position, according to the SPLC, is borderline a hate group.
The Southern Poverty Law Center is redefining what hate is. It's doing so first to raise money, and secondly, it's doing it in order to shut down all contrary opinion, which the First Amendment was designed to protect.
The Southern Poverty Law Center has a wonderful public relations operation where they have been able to sell themselves to the media, to the decision makers. They are using the huge wealth that they are receiving through their mail fundraising operation to promote themselves, so they then can sell this message that they are trying to implant in the minds of Americans to turn Americans against traditional values, against our Christian heritage.
The Southern Poverty Law Center has been very successful in positioning itself as an unbiased arbiter of so-called hate groups, while disguising its extreme left-wing ideology.
It's very dangerous whenever we have any organization that's referenced at all by any part of government for law enforcement, where the organization effectively tries to isolate whole groups of people because of their faith, specifically isolate people who believe in biblical teachings, believe in the Bible, as somehow they're being a hate group or equivalent to the KKK.
The SPLC has a map of hate where they list more than 800 groups that are supposedly hate groups. But they lump legitimate Christian ministries in with the skinheads, and the media too often refers to them as a credible source.
The media will cite whatever the Southern Poverty Law Center says as gospel truth. Once you can say that somebody's on the SPLC's hate list, and if you're a journalist for the mainstream media, then you point out, yes, this group is on the hate list for the SPLC, and this is automatically bad. This shows you what haters the group is. So that's essentially what's happening.
We need to be able to debate ideas and exchange ideas without being called haters, because the Southern Poverty Law Center cannot get inside your heart and my heart to accuse us of hate. They do not know what's in our heart.
Beginning in 2017, the ministry filed suit against the SPLC for defamation because they branded us an anti-LGBT hate group. That false and defamatory label stems from our commitment to God-ordained marriage, one man and one woman.
I think when you say hate group, it's pretty obvious. You're talking about someone motivated by hate. Well, that's not D. James Kennedy Ministries at all.
The name of the Southern Poverty Law Center is a little deceptive because the only thing impoverished about the Southern Poverty Law Center are their ethics. What they do is they simply go after and try to marginalize Christian organizations that speak about biblical morality. And they do nothing to help those who are poor in the South. They have become really a tack dog for the gay and lesbian, bisexual, transgender movement.
Tony Perkins of the Family Research Council in Washington, D.C. knows full well the kind of damage the SPLC's hate label can have. In August 2012, a deranged homosexual young man set out to attack the Family Research Council, to shoot their staff members, and then smear their faces with Chick-fil-A sandwiches. But Leo Johnson, the brave man at the front desk, stopped him and got shot in the process.
I had to fight for my life. I realized that if I didn't get the gun from Mr. Perkins, he was going to kill me, and he was going to kill all of my coworkers. I had to fight for my life, literally. I've had several surgeries. I've had severe blood clots in my right lung that I've had to be hospitalized again, twice for.
I am sure Leo probably thought, who would ever think, that going to work at a Christian ministry or going to church, one would be jeopardizing their health, their very lives. And that's what he experienced on that day. And it created an environment of unease, which is something that you don't look forward to when you go to work.
Now, how did you, this building, this organization, how did you find it early? Did you look it up online, or how did you know about it?
Southern Poverty Law lists anti-gay groups. I found them online.
Okay.
A little bit of research, went to the website and stuff like that.
The SPLC has to understand is that it has created a noose of hate that is choking off real debate in America. They need to do some soul searching and say enough is enough and retreat from that sort of behavior.
Recently, a 3-judge panel of the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals denied D. James Kennedy Ministries' appeal in our lawsuit against the SPLC. So the ministry is appealing to the Supreme Court.
Our faith is that D. James Kennedy Ministries is going to win victory, preserve and protect freedom for every church, every Bible-believing person, every ministry. We would hope that other ministries would support and pray for D. James Kennedy Ministries and work on these issues and to alarm people as to what's happening where the Silicon Valley is imposing this leftist agenda, trying to ban the Christian viewpoint, the biblical viewpoint from being shared. But D. James Kennedy Ministries has stepped forward on the pinnacle of fighting for freedom for every single citizen.
I'm glad that D. James Kennedy Ministries is standing up to expose the hypocrisy, the psychological projection that the SPLC is involved in. Why? Because if they don't, who will?